My darling hatchlings, welcome back to your daily dose of dragon feather. And today we're here for another Q&A with my dragon guardians, except this one's a little fun because we got 3 guardians with us today. We, of course, will be asking the one, the only, the pickle chips, 4 questions today, but we will also be tuning in with my dragon guardian Monte, as well as my dragon guardian Rosie. So grab a snack, grab a drink, make sure you can come up with a question or 2. We have a lot to uncover today. I'm very excited to see what the guardians have to say tonight. So we're just kind of kicking it. We're just kind of doing our thing. I am feeling a little bit better than I was yesterday. I must say I was bedridden all day yesterday, so I miss you guys dearly, but I am back, so have no fear. We're gonna have so much fun today. Okay, ready? Basically, you guys don't even know how exciting today is gonna be because I have never done a live stream with all 3 of these guardians. So I hope you guys are as excited as I am because I know my dragon guardians are very excited for this. Hello, Nightmare Fuel Studios. Welcome back to your daily dose of dragon feather is a nader. Hey, welcome back to your daily dose of dragon feather. We are doing, you guessed it, we're doing a Q&A with pickle chips, with Monte, and with Rosie. So if you guys are excited, please grab your snack, grab your drink, and let's get started pretty soon here. Hello, Phoenix Holly. Welcome back to your daily dose of dragon feather. And Alfred Cordova, good to see you. Welcome back to your daily dose of dragon feather. We're having so much fun today. I'm so excited. We're just gonna kind of take a few seconds before we jump into the channeled messages. So if you guys have any questions you want to ask the dragons today, you can leave it in the chat and we'll start with those. Otherwise, I will just be starting with the normal general questions and see where it takes us. So if you were not here for the last dragon channeling stream we did, I did an exclusive channeling stream with Pickle Chips, which is one of my main dragon guardians. But today we will be working with Pickle Chips, which is a celestial dragon. We will be working with Monte, which is a angel dragon, and we will be working with Rosie, which is a fairy dragon. So Matthew Wilkie Way, welcome to your daily dose of dragon feather. Okay, I'm super excited. So I have my drink here. All right, before we get ready, we're gonna do our little breathing techniques, okay? You know how we do it here on the channel. Before we do any sort of channeling, we do what is called the dragon breath. At least that's what Pickle Chips tells me it should be called. But we'll do that breathing technique here in a second and just kind of getting myself situated, you know, all of that stuff, all the good things. All right, so I'm super excited. What's in the future for the hatchlings? Oh, we're already getting good questions, so cheers, my friends. I don't know. We're gonna have to ask the one, the only. Okay, just a little disclaimer here, because I don't know why I have to say this, but I have to say this in my videos now. This is for entertainment purposes only. Hi, Starlings, good to see you. Welcome back to your daily dose of dragon feather. Woo! Okay, it would probably help if I turned up the quality, maybe. I want to ask about how to lucid dream with dragons. Also, how to identify your dragonkin self. These are good questions. Hold on. I'm just fixing my camera because my camera's being weird. Okay, there we go. There we go. That looks much better. Okay. All right. Are you guys ready? I almost got my drink down, okay? The cramps are cramping, so we're doing our best today. I really was struggling to get on stream today because I felt so crampy, and I was basically like asking my guardians, like, I didn't have it in me to read today. We originally had a reading of the Quran planned for today, but I just didn't have that in me. Sorry. So we are doing the channeling today, okay? So we'll be reading the Quran later on this week, but for today we're gonna do the dragon stuff, because hells yeah. All right, my friends, ready? Are you ready? Okay. So what we'll be doing today is called, it's a practice that is associated with mediumship. I will be talking to spirits on live for you to see, asking my spirit guardians your questions. The spirits I work with are dragons. That's why I'm considered a Draconic witch, or why I consider myself one. So, with that being said, the way that I work with them is before I enter or open myself up to channel messages from my dragon guardians or any spirit I'm working with, I will do my breathing technique that was given to me by one of my dragon guardians. And they call it affectionately the dragon breath. So, excuse me, it is 2 deep inhalations through the nose and 1 really long exhale through the mouth. You do it really quickly in succession to oxygenate your body as quickly as possible and to open your channel. So I really recommend doing this. But if you are not in the best mental state, or if you're not in the best physical state, then viewer discretion is advised with this video. Now that I have all the disclaimers out of the way, can you channel lost family members? Yes, I can, but I'm not going to be doing that on this live. But if you would like me to, I'm more than happy to channel some of my past family members. It just might be quite controversial in my personal life. And with the content I've been posting recently, I've been really blowing up my personal life. So I'm trying to just pace myself with the blowing up of my personal life because of what I post. So with that being said, let's do our dragon breath to get into this pickling. That's what. For channeling pickle it. I can't even speak. For channeling pickle chips. Pickle chips is calling it pickling. I'm gonna pass away. Okay. Pickle chips is a nickname for one of my dragon guardians, okay? Okay. Alright, subscribe, because I laugh and cry like a maniac, and that might be entertaining. For entertainment purposes only, okay, my friends? Alright, ready? Let's do this, okay? Alright, everybody, bring your attention into your body. Join me if you'd like. If not, spam the chat with dragons and pickles. Or cucumber emojis. Okay, ready? Ailey Noodle, we are doing channeling. Today, I will be channeling my dragon guardians. So I'm going to be doing my breathing technique that my dragon guardians have taught me to do to open my channel to them, if that makes sense. Ready? Ready, set, go? Ready, set, go. Okay, ready? Okay. Hells yeah. Cucumbers and dragons in the chat. I'm so excited. Okay, you guys ready? Okay. So, for those of you guys who have never seen one of my channelings before, this might be completely new for you, so keep it on mind. But if not, I'm gonna catch up with these messages with your guys' chat. So let's see, Isinator, what's in the future for the hatchlings? So since we are working with 3 different guardians here, I'm just gonna tune into all of them. Hey Monte, Pickle Chips, and Rosie, let me know what's in for the hatchlings, because we gotta know. We gotta know. They all want to know why that's always our first question. More focus. Pickle Chip says more focus is in the future for the hatchlings. Okay, stop being snarky little shits. You're making... Okay. You know, sometimes it takes a little time for them to warm up, and I've never done a video with all 3 of them. So bear with me, okay? Maybe I should ask them one by one, okay? Let's try that instead. All right, Pickle Chips, what do we have in store for the hatchlings? What's in the future for the hatchlings? More focus, yes, but besides the focus. taking our power back, creating a space where we don't feel ashamed to upkeep. That's very interesting. Especially coming from you, Pickle Chips, when you're always telling us to clean our rooms. Pickle Chip says, in the future for the hatchlings, we'll stop hoarding so much shame. I think that's fascinating. I'm gonna move on to Monte. Monte, what's in the future for the hatchlings? More dragons. Well, yeah, I would hope so. Many storms that are scary alone, but actually so much fun when we weather them together. Communities in the future for the hatchlings. I love that. I love that. I deep cleaned my room yesterday. Hell yeah. Starling says, awesome. Do you support Satanists? Absolutely. Unless they're doing weird shit. But that's with everybody. I support everybody unless they're doing weird shit. I thought that's pretty decent. Anyway, Rosie, what's up? Rosie, can you let us know what's in the future for the hatchlings? Deeper connections, more meaningful bonds, better relationships with ourselves, better relationships with our spirit teams, and above all else, confidence to build the world we want instead of cowering in fear from the one that we were born into. Ooh, Rosie, coming in strong. I haven't gotten my room cleaned yet, Pickle Chips, but I will be soon now. My work is slowing down. Yeah, look, I kind of have a little bit of a setup. I have I'm working on some stuff over here, but this is gonna be my working altar, and then this one here is gonna be my ancestor altar. And then the one I have over here is gonna be my working desk and my writing altar, if that makes sense. But I've got a lot. Then we have the bed in the other one, and then I have and this is gonna just basically be for all my crystals and stuff. Yeah, we're working on the whole space to just make it better. What do your dragons think of demons and paths like spiritual Satanism and Luciferianism? And are those paths compatible with dragon work? Yes, I did. Yes, all of them are screaming yes, yes, yes. But with Luciferianism and with Satanism and with dragons and demons, I'm getting an overwhelming response that dragons and demons, while they are vastly different, have a lot of overlap in their energy. But there are some demon dragons, or dragon demons, if you will. So it's a Venn diagram, right? There's the dragons, and then there's the demons, and then there's a little bit of an overlap in the middle. But they are different entities for the most part, minus the overlap. But Monte, Rosie, and Pickle Chips is telling me that it doesn't matter what religion you practice. It doesn't matter what faith you have or what spirituality you identify with, you can work with dragons. And anyone who tells you otherwise is simply afraid of what they don't know. You know what I mean? Because most of the people who are going to tell you that dragons are demons, that dragons are jinns, that dragons are evil, that dragons are aliens, that dragons are reptilians or whatever, are going to be the people that have never worked with them before, okay? But the people who work with dragons on a regular basis, if you actually ask us about dragons and you ask us about how we work with them, we will be very, very unified in the sense that dragons are very adamant on the fact that they are their own thing. And I even get questions from my dad about this. I love you, Dad. But my dragons are very adamant on being just dragons. And with any other thing, there's overlap with dragons in everything, is what my dragons tell me. So that means there's alien dragons. That means there's demon dragons. That means there's angel dragons. My Monte is an angel dragon. That means there's fairy dragons. Rosie, fairy dragon, who we're talking to today. So there's all these overlaps, right? Have you heard of turtle dragons or dragon turtles? There's just all that overlap, right? But you can work with dragons no matter who you are. You don't even have to, you could be an atheist and just work with the symbolism of dragons, is what Pickle Chips is telling me. You don't even have to believe that dragons are real in a spiritual sense to work with them. You can simply work with the symbolism of them. And that could still be working. you know, with dragons in different way, but it's just, you know, their way. Let's see. It says, I don't know any technique to block out my cramps, unfortunately. I have tried pretty much every drug on the market to figure it out, but the only one that works is weed for me. I want to ask about how to lucid dream with dragons. Also, how to identify your dragonkin self. These are good questions. Okay, so how do you lucid dream with dragons? Rosie, Monte, and Pickle Chips are saying start a practice, and the keyword here is consistently. Try and take naps around 2 to 3 p.m. for like 90 minutes at a time. And then when you wake up, write down anything that you dreamt of. And even if you didn't dream of anything, write down anything that you might have visualized or might have come through. That's gonna really help you develop your lucid dreaming with your dragons. But Pickle Chips is overwhelmingly coming in right now saying like, sometimes when it comes to dreaming lucidly with your dragons, that is something for your guardians to choose to visit you with. It's not always necessarily something that you can just create out of thin air. There's a little asterisk there with the meaning that there are some witches or just some human beings born with the natural gift to lucid dream on command. But for those of us who have to practice, like you and I'm assuming you are somebody who has to practice that just like I do, sometimes it's not always in your control, but the more you practice at keeping like a dream journal and you practice sleeping during the day when it would normally be considered like a nap, that's what's gonna actually help make your practice the best. I mostly encounter Pickle Chips in my lucid dreams these days. So there's that. Let's see. Oh, this is a personal one. Oh, the dragonkin self. I'm just curious about that one too. How can you tap in with your dragonkin self? Interesting. I get the sense that they're like, this one's like kind of hard to describe. Hold on. Because like Pickle Chips is basically saying like, you know, like if you believe, like if you feel like you are dragonkin, then you are. It's like really not that serious. But then Rosie is saying like, what does dragonkin even mean to you? Like, how do you define dragonkin? What does that look like for you? And Monte is saying that you have to find the dragon parts of you. What does that mean? Can you clarify, Monte? Discovering one is dragonkin is not something that you just get a reading for or meditate one time and decide on. It's just like if somebody has a different neurotype. Interesting. The way that people have different brains is the way that people have different spirits. And to find out what kind of spirit you have to go within and get in touch with yourself. You have to cultivate that space inside your inner realm in order to truly understand. But some dragonkin just know. And usually the dragonkin that just know have just known ever since they were a little kid. Monte says, look in your childhood, look into the dreams, into the wonders, the passions, the excitement that you felt in childhood. How do you express yourself? Do you like to run on all fours when you were a kid? Did you scream in like a wah kind of way? Very silly, Monte. But do you feel foreign in your human body is what Monte says. That's very interesting. I hope that can help. That was very interesting. How do I know if I'm a dragon? Well, Sean Harris, I hope that was kind of just answered that, I think. I think my spirit and my brain are neurodivergent. Well, Fallen, welcome back to your daily dose of dragon feather, but I feel you. Hey, Dad, Mr. Laser Days. Here, I mean not here. Oh, Dad. Wait, what? I joined the live and I hear you saying, sorry, Dad. It's funny. I love that and I understand that. Hell yeah, Phoenix, I'm glad that makes sense a little bit. Let's see, it says, I just want to know this, just this. The souls of my parents are in the human heaven or dragon realm, and how are they? I just need to know that. Oh wow, they're in neither place, they're here with you. I might need a couple business seconds. Rosie, can you share that with us a little bit more without totally breaking my eyeballs and ruining my makeup because I'm wearing... okay. Rosie, can you please further explain that? Rosie says our past loved ones that really love us don't go to heaven or don't go to the dragon realm or don't go anywhere until their last loved ones have left this plane. And until they do, they're right by your side, and all you have to do is remember them. And every time you remember them and you might start to grieve that they're not with you, that's actually just you remembering that they're right there with you. But it can be confusing because we're so conditioned to seeing our loved one, or like understanding our loved ones being with us in a physical sense. We are conditioned to believe that that is the only way someone can be with us. And that is not true. Rosie says that that is the most rudimentary way of being with somebody, is in a physical sense. But when it comes to the spirit world, every single time you lose someone you love, you don't lose them at all. They just return to your heart. What about animals? Yeah, same with your pets. They're just waiting for you until you're ready to cross over. I'm crying, I shouldn't. I can't mess up the makeup. That was a really good question. It's a really good question. I told myself I wasn't gonna cry in this episode, but bitch, when you ask me real questions, here they go. I'm crying with you. Yeah, that was a good one. I can't cry at 12 a.m. Oh man, that was honestly like, wow. Carlin Barker, that's the most beautiful way I've ever heard someone put that, dude. Me too. I have never asked my dragon guardians just like out like that, like what happens when you die, I guess. But like the way that like Rosie just like took the mic and was like, bitch. Wouldn't even let Pickle Chips or Monte say anything. This is why I love Rosie, you guys, because like Rosie is like hella strong, like big sister energy. And like out of all of my guardians, like she's the most gentle. Do you know what I mean? My heart is in a puddle on the floor. Yeah, exactly. Yes, I learned a lot from tarot cards too. But anyway, that is honestly, I can't stop. I can't even believe that. That's so sweet. Oh, take all the time you need. That's a beautiful feeling to share and be able to communicate. Oh my gosh, I know. Thank you, Fallen. That's so sweet. I think my spirit and my brain were neurodivergent same. Are my guardian angels dragons? Are your guardian angels dragons? My guardians are saying that you have guardian angels and guardian dragons. I think you might have to talk to your spirit team about that one, my friend. My friend. Okay. If they had to guess my name, be my attitude, what would it be? What do you mean? Why is my literal, hold on, my literal like setup is like falling down. Hold on. I don't know why though. Like chill. Okay. No, don't be sad to make me cry. Like that's what I do on this channel. All I do is cry and laugh on this channel. Hashtag feeling feather. Okay. Is this a Q&A with Rosie? Violet Mays, this is a Q&A with Rosie, Monte, and Pickle Chips. How do you write more spiritual songs? I didn't even have to ask. Monte's like, write songs, excuse me, as offerings to your guardians or your guides or your ancestors, or write songs for your past loved ones. Is Lucifer a dragon who takes a human form, or is he a god who can take a dragon form? I need a drink before I ask that question, Nightmare. None of us are ready for that answer. I have Pickle Chips laughing at me already. Ready, set, go. I'm really scared of your question, Nightmare. Ready? Okay, let's ask it. Okay, so you said, is Lucifer a dragon who takes a human form, or is he a god who can take a dragon form? I don't know if I can say that out loud. Pickle Chip's gonna say that out loud? It's giving, Lucifer is giving Archangel Dragon of Light. So to answer your question, neither. Or both. Wait a minute. No, dragon guardian angel, not God. God? Wait a minute. Pickle Chip says God in the way that you think of gods, but not in the way that I think of gods. So I don't necessarily know what that means, but I hope that answers your question. So like if I were to answer your question in like my interpretation of gods, I would say no. But if I were to answer your question with the interpretation of your view of gods, Pickle Chip says yes. That really confused me. Nightmare. That really confused me. What's going on here? I don't get it. Le Corbeau, welcome back to your daily dose of Dragon Feather. Here we are. Well, if you're new to the channel, hey, hi, hello. My name is Azura. I am a Draconic witch, or a Draconic high priestess. I've been practicing witchcraft with working with dragons, or the spirits of dragons, for nearly 20 years now. And what I'm doing currently is a channeling practice, or a type of mediumship, where I am asking questions to my dragon spirits, and I'm channeling their answers, and then translating their answers into English for you. I hope that helps. So if you're interested in that, subscribe. We'd love to have you here. How many dragon guardians do I have with me, and are they still unwilling to work with me for now? I haven't been feeling their energy lately. Violet Maze. Oh, I didn't even have to ask. It's really, it's giving, you're under a test. Like when you work with dragons, like they'll periodically like step out and observe you and like see. So like my question for you, Violet, is did you with your guardians like recently like work through something, or like recently like uncover something, or recently start some kind of practice that was like a really big breakthrough in your practice, and then all of a sudden that they're gone? Or did something happen in your life, be it like somebody walked out, or like you had like maybe like conflict in your life? Because sometimes when that kind of thing happens and your dragons are stepping out, or it feels like they're not around you, it's often a situation or a scenario of them testing you to see if you're ready for the next step, right? Do you know what I mean? Do you believe people carry energies? Yes, I do. I am Jason. Welcome to your daily dose of Dragon Feather. It's good to see you. Azura, please resubscribe. I'm trying. There's so many comments. If they had to guess my name by my attitude, Marla. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Okay. If you guys don't know I'm 122, like, do you even watch my show? Okay, anyway, it says, I totally answered my question, actually. No, that's awesome. I have another question that's the exact same, but Lilith instead of Lucifer. Nightmare Fuel Studios. Yo! Pickle Chip says same thing as Lucifer, but with demons. Or darkness. So, arc, demon, dragon of darkness. But, like, not in an evil way. Like, that's why she's just so misunderstood. It's like when I get anything kind of information about Lilith and darkness, like, Pickle Chips is telling me the reason why I need help navigating Lilith's energy is because of my religious conditioning and, like, my religious trauma and, like, my conditioning as, like, a woman, like, to submit, right? I have a lot of, like, religious indoctrination specifically around my gender as a woman, right? And so because of that, I interpret, like, dark feminine energy as, like, the antithesis of who I'm allowed to be, right? So, like, this is the thing. Like, when it comes to Lilith's energy, I'm getting very much, like, she is the mother of demons, but she's also, like, the mother of dragons. Does that make sense? But she's not. In the sense that, like, it's like gods and goddesses, the way that we know them today, Pickle Chip says that a lot of the gods and goddesses that we know are actually the same type of, they're the same deity, just like in different fonts, right? So, like, you know, Lilith is really giving, like, a humanoid personification of Tiamat. So in that sense, she could be a goddess, right? Nightmare Fuel Studios? Yeah. Uh-huh. You should watch Hell of a Boss and Hasbeen Hotel. I've been getting a lot of pressure to watch Hasbeen Hotel. Starlinks, I've just decided I'm gonna do it because of your comment. You were the one on top that just made me decide. Hit send before I could finish my question, Alfred. It's okay. Let me double check. It says, would Pickle Chips, Monte, or Rosie guess one's past names? No. See, Rosie, Pickle Chips, and Monte have, like, are very insistent on there's, like, certain information that they have access to that would be a violation of our free will to share, right? So, like, part of the journey of being a human being is discovering your own past lives, and those names are for you, right? Like, you won't appreciate your past life if Pickle Chips just tells you about it, right? Like, that's ridiculous. Bahamut is the king of all dragons. Tiamat is the mother of dragons. Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life. Amen. Amen. I cast away the demons with the blood of Jesus. I'm sorry. I just have seen too many people do it, okay? Like, I hope you know we love Jesus on this channel, okay? Like, I will be doing another video about Jesus Christ very soon because we love Jesus, okay? Jesus is a baddie, okay? But Jesus was also a witch, okay? Sorry to burst your bubble, okay? Can my dragon guardian take the form of a Chinese dragon? Manpachi. Pickle Chips is saying that dragon guardians already have their own, like, dragon forms, right? And sometimes your dragon guardian can be like an Asian dragon, or like what would stereotypically look like an Eastern style dragon. The only way you're gonna know what your dragon looks like is if you do the work and get to know them yourself. That is not something that Pickle Chips, that Monte, or Rosie has any authority or just, like, place to, like, say anything. Like, the whole point of working with dragons is to get to know them on your own, in your own intimate way, in your own time, in your own space, in your own reality bubble. Like, that is such the part and the purpose of walking the Draconic path. And Monte wants me to just really emphasize on how rewarding and magical it is, not only for the human to discover the dragon, but how rewarding it is for the dragon too, for the human to discover them. That was really sweet. That was actually really sweet. Is Lilith Tiamat? Pickle Chip says that is classified. Damn it. Damn it. Okay. Am I allowed to know what my kin type is, or just what my soul is? I don't know if my team would want that said in a public chat, so that's totally okay. Violet Maze, I'm more than happy to like offer like anyone personal like readings, like channel kin readings. But that's like something I wouldn't want to do on like a live, you know what I mean, Violet? So if you guys or anyone's interested in like a kin reading, or like just any type of reading or channeled message, I can even channel your past loved ones, I can channel your guardians, your spirit teams, whatever, like message me on Instagram. It'll be the first link down in the description, the first or second link. But my Instagram, message me on Instagram specifically for a reading, and I got you, my brother, sister. So I'm not trying to give away like your personal info on the live. Do you know what I mean? First time live, been watching you for years. So hi, oh my god, Edit, welcome to your first daily dose of Dragon Feather. It's so excited to have you here. We are doing our channeled messages with Pickle Chips, Rosie, and Monte, which are 3 of my dragon guardians. Your fairy dancer, hey, hi, hello, welcome to your daily dose of dragon feather. Is Hecate dark feminine energy? Yes, she is. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. Pickle Chips answered my question, whether you realized it or not. Thank you for that. Your dragon secrets was with me. That's awesome. My cloudy black dragon still knocking everything around, then tells me it's natural vibrations in the wind, but I know better, Garland. I love it. I love it. Yay, Rebel Child Witchery, welcome back to your daily dose of dragon feather. Hi, I needed this. It's been a day, trying not to beat myself up about vaping again. Rebel, here, I'm gonna ask a question on your behalf. I hope that's okay. Guardians, how can we hold ourselves trying to navigate difficult habits while we're trying to break them? Pickle Chip says, well, you didn't just end up vaping, did you? You weren't just born with a vape in your mouth, were you? No. Rosie says, you have a heart, stop coating it in tar and listen to what your heart is trying to scream at you to listen to, because that's why we vape. To not speak the truth of our hearts. Monte is about to kill us with the last one. Monte says that every human on the planet has an addiction. Most humans aren't willing to admit what their addictions are. The fact that you even know you have a problem is righteous. Righteousness in and of itself. You deserve your mercy, you deserve your grace, and you deserve your love while you walk this. Healing and recovery is not a straight line. It is not a perfect circle. It's literally peaks and valleys. You're gonna have good days, you're gonna have bad days. You have good days, you're gonna have bad days. But as long as your graph is gradually getting better, that is all that matters. Do not be too hard on yourself. Quitting vaping, let me tell you something. I did a lot of fucking stupid drugs in my whole life, okay? I've done so many drugs, you don't even understand how I'm still standing. I don't even know how I'm still standing, forming functional sentences. Actually, that's a miracle. And vaping was the hardest thing for me to quit, okay? 100%. Nicotine is the hardest drug I have ever dealt with, okay? So, please no. I think I'm addicted to my cats. Jessica Kruger. welcome back to your daily dose of dragon feather. And same, I want one of every color. I literally call my cat my luxury handbag because I just love her so much. I did throw one out that still had juice today, so I'm gonna be happy about that little victory. Hell yeah, Rebel Child. Hells yeah. Hells yeah. Do you know how many times I had to like buy a vape, like a fresh vape, and like hit it a few times and throw it away before I actually quit? Do you know how many like actual vapes I literally wasted to quit? Like, and if you can't quit for yourself, just know that the batteries in your vapes come directly from the Congo, and free Congo. Okay, so if you can't do it for yourself, do it for the Congolese who are facing injustices. If that makes sense. What is Asmodeus's sin of? Isn't that a demon? You are amazing. I'm 4 days clean from self-harm now, and you have helped me so much with my life and made it easier to whether that's creepy or not. It's not creepy at all, Starlings. Like, I'm honestly really appreciative of you sharing that with me, because like I literally wouldn't know if what I do helped or not if you guys didn't have the courage to share that with me. So I really, really, really appreciate you. That means the world to me. Yes, that's why I didn't buy this month. Well, there you go, Rebel Child. Then you're already making a difference. Like, I'm so proud of you. You're actually a boss. Freaking boss out here. I was wondering if you have any advice for anyone wanting to move down feels called the Draconian path. Okay, it's a great question on it. Excuse me. Guardians, how can anyone make that initiative to start walking the Draconian or Draconic path? Study. First, you must learn as much as you can about dragons and their mythologies and the history of dragons all throughout the lands of the earth. And again, dive even deeper to what it means to work with them on a spiritual sense. Determine why do you want to walk with dragons? Like, really, truly, seriously. Like, do you want to walk with dragons because it feels cool? Or Monte says, why in the first place do dragons feel like, or why in the first place does the Draconian path feel like one for you? Why do you think your feet were made to be fixed upon the Draconic path? Go on, Monte says. Go on, tell us why. Tell us why you are worthy. Oh dear Lord. Okay, Rosie, can you give us a little bit of advice for this? Do you even love dragons? Or do you love the idea of dragons? Do you love the power of dragons? Or do you love the loyalty of dragons? Do you love the magic of dragons? Or do you love the protection that they offer? Do you want to use dragons, or do you want to allow dragons to use you to make a better world? Are you afraid of us? Rosie says. Rosie says, if you want to walk on the Draconic path and your heart is full more of fear of dragons than love of dragons, you will forever walk alone. Okay. I'm afraid. Ready, pickle chips? I'm afraid. Okay. Okay, pickle chips, what can we do if we feel called to walk the Draconic or the Draconian path? Light yourself on fire, because you are the asshole in your story. Where are you being a hypocrite? If you can actually look in the mirror, honestly, the dragons will find you. But it's an act of transmutation. The truth is, if you want to walk the path of the dragon, what are you willing to sacrifice? because walking the path of the dragon, walking with dragons, never comes without sacrifice. And if you are one who is a fan of their comforts, a fan of their privilege, and a fan of their pleasures, then the path of the dragon is not one for you if you are too soft, if you are too sensitive, without focus. Because if you have no backbone to protect people who need you, then the dragons will scoff at you when you try to speak to them. I hope that could help you guys. That was pretty intense. I really needed to hear all this. Thank you, Azura, and thank you, Pickle Chips, Rosie, and Monte. Yes, thank you so much. These are some really good, really good questions you guys are asking. Damn, definitely not fickle. No fickle chips. Just pickle chips. Rosie gives pink vibes. Yes, Alien. She is a very light pink dragon, fairy dragon. Dragons feel like home to me. No matter where I go or what I do, I always end up back with them. For me, it's about the connection with them, the connection with myself, and the connection with the all. Audette, I'm hearing overwhelmingly from Pickle Chips that is a strong indication that you are dragonkin. When you feel like dragons are home. There's a difference between like somebody who works with dragons as like elders or like teachers and somebody who works with dragons like literal family members, right? Like do you work with the dragons as if you are a member of their clan, or do you work with the dragons as if you are their pupil, right? And I know this might be a little controversial for those of you for those of you who might not be super aware of dragonkin, but like when I say that growing up, many times my only family was dragons, I really mean that, in the sense that like I would cry my heart out to my dragons about the bullying that I went through. And to another human being who was alive, if they happened to hear or see that in real time, it would look like I'm crying talking to nothing or a table full of candles, right? That's kind of how that worked. But everybody's experience is unique, and Pickle Chip says that it's a Venn diagram, right? Like people who feel like dragons are their family can be dragonkin and can also not be dragonkin. Like it's not a be all end all, right? Like they are my family and my elders. Me too, Audette. Me too. So like I'm just offering that perspective. I'm feeling called to offer it for just anyone who might be considering they are, what do you mean? Just a different perspective to consider. It's kind of funny that I love Pickle Chips the food and enjoy Pickle Chips' presence as a dragon. Fallen, yes! Pickle Chips said that they wanted me to use that nickname for them on the channel because it would make them seem more relatable and like easier to understand and less intimidating, because they are such an intimidating dragon guardian for me to work with. I know Pickle Chips, I've earned like a name that I can actually call Pickle Chips that I can't share with you, but like sometimes I'll still call Pickle Chips because it's fun. I like it, it's cute, okay? Like peace, love, Pickle Chips, man. But anyway, my age, I'm 122. Thank you for asking. Yeah, I've been on Earth for a minute, so that's why I know things. Do you know what I mean? Like the lore runs deep, okay? Like I can always tell you and let you know. Identify as wolf, fox, coyote, kin. How do I know if it's time to answer the call of dragonkin? That's a really good question. How do we embrace being dragonkin? Wear your horns proudly. The dragon burning inside of me. Yeah, gotta wear your horns proudly. Thank you, Monte and Pickle Chips and Rosie for answering my question. Of course, of course. Hi, Mrs. Zura. Can you please ask your guardians which elemental dragon is protecting me because my zodiac sign is Sagittarius, a fire sign, but my Chinese zodiac is water. Ooh. I mean, I don't know if they'll let me know that. We'll find out though. Guardians, can you let me know? My guardians are like having me answer with a question. They're saying, have you ever seen Avatar: The Last Airbender? The episode where Aang and Zuko go to the temple where they meet the dragons. Because you might be confused, for there is more than one. I'm getting a response that more than one is around you. Good night, my connection sucks tonight. Also, a mama deer and her baby went in front of me on the highway at 65 miles an hour and I came inches from hitting both and not flipping. My car drained. Oh my god, Dad, bless you. Oh my god, Dad, please know that you, like, literally, I'm like so grateful that you're okay, Dad, because if you would have hit the deer, it probably would have killed all three of you guys. So alhamdulillah that you were okay. I'm so happy you're okay. Yeah, please get some sleep, okay? And just focus on gratitude, because holy crap, that's so scary. Yes, we wear our horns proudly, yes. Dad, I'm giving you all of my luck in the world. I'm gonna give you the luckiest dragon ever, okay? Give it. I have Chihiro and Haku tattooed on my arm because I felt extremely connected, as if it was a story of one of my past lives, movie Spirited Away. Could there be any truth to that? Violet Maze, you just made all of my guardians so fucking happy, because like one of the episodes that I'm working on is literally about Spirited Away. So here, I'll just give you a little bit of a teaser, and we'll make this the next live that I do, because my guardians basically told me, like, the story of Spirited Away is the story of her girl and her dragon getting lost in the spirit world together, and I'm gonna cry. I am gonna cry, I'm gonna cry. But I have to do a video on that. Violet Maze, your question is so good. It literally deserves its entire own live stream about it, because yes. Yes, so many yes. So many yes. Andre Ramirez, welcome to your daily dose of Dragon Feather. I am a Draconic witch, and I am here channeling my dragon guardians. 3 of them currently. Pickle Chips, they're all nicknames, okay? Excuse me. Pickle Chips is a celestial dragon, working with Monte, which is an angel dragon, and we're working with Rosie, which is a fairy dragon. These are like the 3 main dragon guardians I work with in my practice on a daily basis. I work with many other dragons, but these ones I would consider my dragon guardians, right? Like, I have like dragon guides, but these are like the dragon guardians, the daily ones that I work with that are comfortable with me talking about them publicly, if that's okay. Isinator, please be careful and get some good sleep. Oh yes, thank you, my darling, you too. Alfred Cordova, Dragon Dance episode was the most beautifully depicted and illustrated part of the Book of Fire. Yes, Alfred Cordova, I completely agree. And Thea Hanna, yes, I love Avatar: Last Airbender. It's so good. Chances are, if you watched that show, you have an inkling towards dragons, okay? It's giving heavy dragon energy, okay? And JG92, thank you so much for the super chat. You need Liz Cross, look her up. Interesting. Where's my other phone? Why do I never know where my other phone is? Or I would look her up right now, but I am not familiar with her. Is she an author? Because I'm very curious. I love With Spirited Away. Yes, I'm obsessed with it. Love that movie so much. It'll always hold a favorite place in my heart. Yes, Carlin Barker. It's one of my favorite too. Is the Morrigan a goddess, fairy, dragon, or a combination of the 3 at all? Dragon, fairy, queen. But I think we already knew that. Come on, Nightmare. I think we knew that already. But like fairy queens, like, are goddesses. Like, some of the most legendary fairy queens are goddesses, right? Are you worried about termites? Oh my god. Malaysia pudding. Dude, welcome to your daily dose of dragon feather, and let me tell you how much I hate termites. Oh my god. In the house that I used to live in, you know, that I used to make videos in with like yellow bathroom, we had fucking termites. Okay? Termites in our house. Do you understand me? Thankfully, they weren't in my bedroom. They were in my mom's room, but they were like eating the floor underneath the toilet, and like we had to have like the whole thing replaced because it was just fucking fried. It was fucking fried. I guess you could say it was pudding. The wood was pudding. Yes, my condolences. So we had someone replace it. Yes. Oh, I'm dreaming name. Yes, your name. Your name is amazing. I love it. Pudding is such a good word. Ponyo and Arity. I have not seen Arity or Ponyo. If I've seen Ponyo, it was a really long time ago. I just wanted to make sure. Sure, I had all expected that that was the case. I just wanted a definitive yes. No, yeah, that's like what I got. Mrs. Zora, can you please ask Miss Rosie if I have a fairy dragon guide? And the Hannah. Rosie said that's classified. I'm sorry. That's something for you to find out. There's certain things that I can't do, right? You know what I mean? Like there's certain questions that like that you ask me that are actually meant for you to like unlock the answers as like levels in your practice that I can't cheat for you, right? Like Pickle Chips says like we can't be the cheat code. I just got we can't be the cheat code. Pickle Chips. I'm sorry, Anthea. I love you. Please subscribe. Did you see my question? No, I didn't. I'm going. Okay. Okay, it says, I am truly humbled and honored, but why is it that the dragons called out to me recently? Is it because the Fae couldn't convince me to share my treasures by themselves? Interesting question. To share their treasures by themselves. Interesting. Ooh, JG, thank you for the super chat. Liz Cross is a great channeling person. Would interview Pickle Chips. Ooh, honestly, Pickle Chips is very much like not. Pickle Chips says overprotective of Azura. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means that they would channel them or not. I don't know. I don't know what that means. What does that mean to you guys? How do you guys interpret that? Overprotective of Azura? Fucking weirdo sometimes. I don't know. You're just Pickle Chips. Are you kidding me? Is Sarunos a fairy? Oh my god. Pickle Chips said goat. I'm sorry. That's so offensive. I didn't say it. It was what Pickle Chips said, okay? Okay, I didn't say it. Okay. I'm gonna let me just get to Karina really quick, okay? My guardians are saying classified, like your Karina Capucci, they're saying that your question is mostly classified, but what they can share with you is basically like the mythical, like you're just meant to be working within the mythical realms, and you know that. But like that's scary because like what does that even mean, right? And like you don't want to lose your autonomy because you've heard like you just know the stories, right? And you know your experiences. But like Pickle Chips is saying like find one of them, one mythical creature that you connect with more than anything else to be your solid guide. Like how I had Monte, right? Until I had Rosie and Pickle Chips as well, right? Like I really deeply resonated with Rosie, I really deeply resonated with Monte ever since I could remember as a little kid. Like that was like my first experience with dragons when I was a baby girl, right? Like Monte, I very vividly remember Monte my whole life. So like you have a lot of conditioning, right? Like there's like, I'm getting this like vision of like chains around your brain. What does that mean, Pickle Chips? Some are self-imposed, but like most are not, right? Like only the last few chains around the brain has been like self-imposed because you learned how to do that yourself from having so many people condition you with chains around your brain, right? But like if you're anything like me and you're kind of neurodivergent, like my dragon guardians tell me that neurodivergency equals having a fairy brain. So if you have a fairy brain, you have to unchain your fairy brain from the human conditionings in order to be able to enter the mythical realm without being so afraid. That was a mouthful. That was a mouthful. I just needed a yes or no. Pickle Chips, not an attitude. Goat. Oh my god. I think that Pickle Chips is saying that he prefers to work with you. Isinator, that's kind of what I get. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like Pickle Chips, like if anyone tried to like channel Pickle Chips, you would just get trolled. And if you weren't getting trolled, like I would have a hard time believing you're not, like you're actually channeling Pickle Chips. Like that's kind of the truth. And I'm getting like giggles. You know? You must take fairy BS and try channeling a person. Who are you talking about? Like you mean like a person who passed away? Like you want me to channel Michael Jackson? Is that what you mean? That makes sense. Thank you, and thank you guys. Yes, Karina, of course. Am I the only one experiencing synchronicities ever so slight right now? Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. I love it. I love it. It isn't members only, Douglas. Why are you so sassy? Why are you so sassy? Just asking things. Hold on, hold on. I do genuinely try to answer every question because like I have this like need in my brain, but I don't see any other question. I just see you asking me things. Oh, here we go. Okay. Was I a witch in my past life? Oh, Douglas, my guardians say that like when it comes to certain things about like human life and like our individual experience as like humans, like certain things is like would be a violation of like our free will for them to just like tell you, right? Like Pickle Chip says they can't be the cheat code for your life, right? And like things like past lives and like guardians and guides you have and like your dragonkin identity or like kin types or like things like that or like dreams about your guardians or things like that is up for your interpretation, if that makes sense. It's like because like that's how you find the magic in reality, right? Like Pickle Chip says like how would Azura ever be able to talk or channel me the way that she does if she didn't have enough of an imagination to try and figure it out herself the first time she like had dreams about me or the first time she had like encounters with me. Like how would Azura Dragonfeather be able to channel Pickle Chips the way that she does today if she didn't believe Pickle Chips could even exist or was trying to reach out to her the first time that I was? Does that make sense? Can I try to get you to channel to a channeling person? It may be a harmful entity. I have seen mostly demonic stuff. JG, okay, chill. I don't do that, okay? Like, I just don't do that. Like, I am the most unserious, like, just, like, don't take me seriously. Like, when anyone, like, comes at me with, like, what I'm doing is demonic, and I get it a lot, okay? Like, you have to understand that, like, my dragons are very adamant. Like, no tragic nostalgic. We're here for, I think we're gonna be here for, like, another, like, at least an hour. Like, my dragon guardians want you to understand the context of who I am. Pickle Chip says you need to know that like my heritage comes from Ireland, like my heritage comes from the land of fairies, like my heritage comes from like my bloodline, like comes from places where magic has run very deep in the land within the people that has been violently ripped away from us. But in my blood is also the people who took it away, and part of my journey is showing up live because Pickle Chips is the one that wants me to do these daily doses of dragon feather, right? And one of the dragon guardians that I'm channeling right now, they're the ones that say I have to show up and share what I do in order to have them even work with me because of just the context of who I am as a person. Does that make sense? I'm doing my best to translate the dragons as I can. Can you ask the dragons, when we go to sleep with our minds, do we travel to other dimensions? Rosie says, sleeping is like a mini death. You return to the all that is, but you can visit different dimensions in your dreams. Dreamscapes can be shared, but some dreamscapes are your own. And the rest seems to be classified, I think. That's weird. Why would my dragons tell me that dream stuff is classified? That seems suspicious to me. Hold on. Pickle Chips? Because I work with Pickle Chips mostly with the dream stuff, so it was kind of interesting Rosie poked in for that one. But Pickle Chips. Yeah, Pickle Chips is basically saying you should already know that you're popping in and out of different dimensions. You know? Let's see. Hello, just wanted to step in and say hi. As a dragon soul myself, any advice for me from your dragons? I go by the name of Asherion. That's great. That's a great question. Okay, so guardians, what advice do you have for Asherion's dragon soul? Create a space that makes your dragon soul feel safe, not human. There's a lot of pressure on like being in a human body to have like a stereotypically looking like human room or like house or space. But if you're like sharing space with people and you're struggling to like make a space that feels like that, excuse me, get yourself a hideaway book and have like a little like dragon horde. Like you need to like really tap in with like your own dragon essence. Something for anyone who identifies as like dragonkin or like who has like a dragon soul or like feels that way. You have to understand that you need to express that. Like the whole point of being dragonkin isn't just having dragon energy or being a dragon. It's like expressing that shit. Like you have to like sometimes find a way to embody that, however that looks like for you. And I'm embarrassed to tell you this, but like for me, that looks like running around on all fours sometimes. You know what I mean? It's just fun. Fuck it. Like, I'm not embarrassed. I am, but I'm not like so embarrassed I can't share that with you. But like, it's about coming into my body in a way that makes me feel in tune with that dragon energy. And like, the energy of your life has been so monotonously human, you're like losing touch with that part of yourself, and it's causing you to suffer in more ways than you realize. And trying to find every single second of your day that you can make a little bit more easy for you to express that like dragonkin or dragon soul part of yourself is what you should try to do, because it will actually help you feel a lot better. At least that's what I'm getting, if that makes sense. Meditation will take away anxiety and depression, and concentration will take care of the major problems. I'm gonna have to disagree with that. Meditation really only amplified my anxiety because it was creating space for me to focus on what was actually causing me anxiety, which was trauma that still lived in my body. And I didn't want to like sit still, because that's when I remembered that the trauma was still there. And so that's where my addictions came from, right? And so actually the meditation was impossible until I addressed the parts of myself that were still traumatized and the trapped trauma still living in my body, and doing things like EFT tapping, doing affirmations, doing breath work, doing exercise to help literally exercise the trauma out of my body, to open up space within myself to create more space to embody. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. Did you see my awkwardly asked question? No. Let's see, this chat's moving kind of fast. I can't really see, so you might have to ask again. Could you ask again, Audit? I has a ridiculous question for the dragons. Do they enjoy blowing bubbles? What? Pickle Chip says bubble dragon. I don't know. Become a teacher part-time and help this next generation, Carlin Barker. No, I'm never gonna like teach in a classroom. That shit, you don't understand. Like you're not allowed to like teach the way that you, like, I am a teacher on this channel. If you know, you know. Like, because in a classroom I would be so restricted. I would lose my job so fast, you don't even understand. You don't even know. Oh, you just don't even know. Okay. I should probably put chat in slow mode so you can keep up. I can't do that on my end. Only you can. Tell everyone too bad. I don't really know how to do that. Because I am on like my phone. So like, maybe that's why I struggle with sitting still in meditation. Dragon Blingy, I also think it might be a neurodivergent thing too. Cause like meditation, at least Rosie tells me meditation is hard for those people with fairy brains, because people with fairy brains are already in tune with nature on an energetic, sensory, like extrasensory level, because they are like so sensitive in a different way. I'm doing my best to translate this. And like people who are more neurotypical in the sense have to sit down and tune in to the nature, right? Have to tune into the parts of themselves that are rooted in nature, right? Because they just have a different expression. It's not one is better than the other. It's just a different type of expression, of spiritual expression. Just because somebody meditates to connect with spirit is no different than the person who dances to connect with spirit. You see what I mean? Neither are different. I mean, neither are better or worse. They are just different, if that makes sense. If anyone saw my question, I think now I have a tree frame. I love that tragic nostalgic. I'm sorry I keep asking, my question keeps getting buried too fast. What would be the best healing method for me to permanently heal my traumas? It really depends, Violet Maze. Pickle Chips is telling me to share what has worked for me, which is EFT tapping, right? Like I am safe in my body. It is safe for me to be intimate with my loved ones. It is safe for me to be hugged and held. Like things like that, you know what I mean? Really actually helped me for a while. I had such bad anxiety about planes, hearing planes. Just kind of always have. I think it might be like just an overstimulation thing. They're very loud sometimes. And so when I learned about EFT tapping, I started doing, it's safe for me to hear planes, you know, it's safe for me to hear aircraft, you know, I am safe in my body when there are loud noises around me. Like, and I had to kind of do that, like when I was in the state of being panicked and I didn't believe myself, and I was like doing it through tears in the beginning, but then over time, it's like I automatically go into that like tapping response in my body, you know what I mean? It's really, really helpful. So me when chat communication helps your question too, also, hell yeah. But let's see, question. I would like to ask if I understand the connection I have with one of my dragons correctly, if I may. Sure, you can ask whatever you'd like. Let's see. Do those with a fairy brain go to the fairy realm when we pass away? Pickle Chips is telling me you go wherever you believe you go when you pass away. It's kind of like a build your own. That's literally what Pickle Chips said when you die. It goes to creator mode. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. I'm crazy, okay? Okay, that's crazy. We all go to Afterlife, then remember. You just become consciousness. That's what Monte says. Whatever that means, forcing as much of the energy you feel out at once is a good way to heal and retain a positive attitude afterwards. Is that why farting feels so good? Someone cooked here, Carlin. Someone cooked here. I'm hearing from my fairy guardians that I was called by the dragons because they finally deemed me ready. That's super exciting. Go, 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 go. It's so much fun working with dragons. I literally cannot stop doing it. It's so much fun. Dragonflies? Okay. I've been getting such crazy, like I've always really resonated with dragonflies, you guys, but like the energy of dragonflies are like so sacred and special. They're like transmitters of sacred messages from like the earthly realms to like higher dimensions and like between dimensions and dimensions. And like dragonflies don't live very long. They don't even have mouths. And like they're such no, they do have mouths. They just don't live very long. They're like live for like 2 weeks. Right? They're just very interesting, okay? Very interesting. I have to ask them. Guardians, what do you guys think of dragonflies? They're... Oh my god, Pickle Chip says that we named them wrong. Dragonflies should be called dragon fairies. Rosie, are you a dragonfly? No. She's a fairy dragon. Oh, that's so cute. Martin Luther says farting expends evil. That... hilarious. Farting expensive evil. That's even funnier though. They're half fairies. Yeah. Yep. I have several items given to deities that are made of iron. If I want to work more closely with the Fae, should I get rid of those items? Seems disrespectful to the deities I gave them to. Interesting. Monte, what's this whole thing with iron and fairies? It's like a energy thing, right? So like iron is actually a very low grade metal, if you will. It's a degradable metal. Whatever that means. Pickle Chip says that you guys might know what that means. I don't know what that means. Iron is like a degradable metal, which is why when you like give it as an offering, it's considered like degrading energy, right? At least that's kind of like the overall vibe I'm getting from Pickle Chips. But like Rosie is saying that like with fairies, like it's about offering the highest of high that you could possess in the physical to them, which is like gold or like sterling silver or like platinum, right? Or like diamonds or like silver, excuse me, or like sapphires or like emeralds, right? Or just like high quality crystals or high quality creations, right? Does that mean that things made out of iron can be high quality? No, it just means that it's like the energy is not, it's just not it. They said for, in your language, it's just not it. If that makes sense. It's just kind of like, ooh, brother, ooh, in your language. Oh my gosh, you guys are funny. Monte says that like mythical creatures like gold and silver. If that makes sense. Iron is good with receiving energy, not giving energy, correct? Is opal a good offering? Yes, Alfred. Rosie says, best offering. Do I have my opal chunk with me right now? No, I don't. But like I have a huge opal chunk. I think it's over there, but like I like work exclusively with my opal when I work with like fairy energy. So that was a good one. How does Rosie like the Tinkerbell movies? Stupid. Rosie hates all modern fairy content. Do with that what you will. Energy is consciousness, frequency, and vibration. Yes, correct. When we set up my tent for my first time vending, it was swarmed with dragonflies. Does that mean anything? That is very special blessing. Did you make money vending? I'm curious. I'm actually really curious. Was the money made? Was it a good experience? Was it rich in experience? Rich in sales? Rich in connections? I'm curious. Let's see. I found out that I have a fairy star sitting on my crown chakra area. Can you ask the dragons if that's a form of being part of the fairy council? I don't mean to be rude, but I got from all three of them, what fairy council? Just not sure. Rosie, if we step in a ring, will we really be trapped in the fairy realm? Rosie, what the heck are fairy rings? They are portals into the fairy realm, but into which part of the fairy realm and to whose portals they are, that's what you don't really know. Carlin, everyone watching, don't forget to hit that like button. Yes, it helps a lot, my friends. Pushing it in the algorithms. Everything went wrong due to the weather, but with that said, given the circumstances, I did extremely well, left with $1,000 after being there only a few hours before being forced to leave. That tracks, Nightmare Fuel Studios, that tracks. So I was wondering if I can understand my connection to Jorman. I'm so sorry, I just really struggles pronouncing that. But the dragon in Norse mythology correctly. If it can't be answered, that's okay. Pickle Chip says, if you really did, you wouldn't be asking now, would you? I'm really sorry, that was kind of harsh. I'm really sorry. Try not to be rude, but the guardians be rude in sometimes. Raquel Gutierrez, I am not allowed to tell you that. My guardians are not allowed to be the cheat code. I apologize. But they say if you tune into yourself, you will find the truth through the eye of your heart. I have been trying to channel, but my inner dialogue and butter environment is a challenge. Robin Cooper. Are you more confident in your lack of confidence? Are you more confident in a lack of confidence? Having a lack of confidence where your confidence should be? I think that was for all of us. The Romans were pagan too, before the Christians. Yes, there was a Christian era in Rome. It's more self-doubt than lack of knowing, to be yeah. Then there you go. Like, you already know the answer. No joke, there was half a fairy circle by where we set up our tent. It was shaped like a crescent moon. That's really cool, Nightmare. That's so magical. I love shit like this. Shit, I'm not sure myself, although I always end up in leadership type positions. You never know. You never know. Okay, my son is high functioning autistic. How can I better help him? Thank you. Try to like connect with him less in like a verbal way and more in an experiential, in the body type of way. I'm gonna explain it like this. Instead of asking, like, it's always good to ask your children how they're doing today, right? But like, instead of like relying so much on like them verbally communicating how they feel, the best way to tune in with autistic people is to sometimes just be like, oh, let's do a painting today. Or like, oh, let's like I have like these paints, like let's make something for each other or something like that. And if they don't want to, don't push them and don't get offended. Do you know what I mean? Like, because that's how it works sometimes. And sometimes it just kind of takes trial and error to find something that they actually like. And then once you find something that they like, then just expand upon that and do that with them, you know? Like, and when they get overwhelmed, like, I really recommend noise canceling headphones. That's really made a huge difference in my life. Like, I just put them on and it helps me, you know? Like some people who are autistic want a hug when they're having a meltdown, and some autistics want to just be like kind of like locked away in a dark room and just the ability to stim however they want, you know? It just really depends, you know? Be more in the moment with them and less in the brain, if that makes sense, because like it's just a different type of experiencing life, right? They're more moving through energy. At least that's the way that from the autistic people that I know and from what I've studied and from my own experience, that's what I get, if that makes sense. How do fairies feel about stainless steel and pewter? A lot of my jewelry is stainless steel or pewter. Stainless steel, yes. Pewter, no. That's what I'm getting from Rosie. Rosie says she hates my pewter dragon Athame. She says, don't use that shit around me. I hate that shit. Why? She's like, it's just not it. I don't know. I don't know. Do you like Gerald Gardner's Wicca? No. It's giving colonizer. Having lack of taking the plunge, having only myself, my inner talk popping me up, so people I feel think I'm being self-righteous, not Christ conscious, so I'm beating a dead horse. So don't like, okay, so like when you're doing the kind of things that we're talking about and like doing mediumship, Christ consciousness, you know, like learning about the history of humankind, like when we've been reading the book The First Sex on the channel, and just talking about God and like ancestors and like ghosts and like, you know, spirits and things like that, like truly, you guys, like it's just better. Take it from me, somebody who started posting online about this stuff when I was a literal child and made a name for myself as a witch before I really even knew what that meant. I wasn't really limited, my access wasn't really limited to the internet, right? And so like it kind of like really affected my development. And take it from me, as somebody who's a witch who talks about it publicly every day of her life, you don't want to do this publicly, okay? Like, I promise you, your practice will feel so much more powerful and sacred if you keep it for yourself. And you should honestly, that is my truly like hot take of the day. And Pickle Chips and Rosie and Monte are saying, I agree, I agree, I agree, because like, my experience being a creator on the platform, sharing my perspective with witchcraft is just, Pickle Chips is saying destiny. I don't know if I agree with that, but what I'm saying with you guys is that like, if you're a new practitioner, like, you don't want to feel like you owe the world a part of your magic, is the best way I can put it. And that extends to your family. Like, my biggest advice to you guys is you don't owe your family part of your magic, okay? Like, you don't owe your parents any knowledge of your witchcraft. And like, you don't have to tell anybody, you don't have to make YouTube videos about it to be a real witch, okay? Thank you again, JG, for the super chat. You said reincarnation is more popular. China and India agree and are more than Whitey. Interesting. What is more than Whitey? I do know that reincarnation is a popular thing. Shall we ask Pickle Chips, Monte, and Rosie about reincarnation? I think so. Reincarnation exists in the alchemical sense. Nothing can be created nor destroyed, only transferred, transmuted, and transferred. That's what I'm getting from my guardians in terms of reincarnation. How do you guys feel about that? Should I replace my pewter chalice if I want to work more closely with the Fae? It's so what it should be made of. Glass. Yes, replace it with glass. Rosie's like, yes, replace it with glass. Love. Love you. Okay. As a mom with ASD with an autistic child, teach him ways to adapt to the world. That's good too, because I'm also not a mom, right? Like, I'm not a mom of like an autistic child, so I don't have that like experience, but like, my expression of autism is gonna be different than like probably your child's, right? Because like every single expression of it seems to be different. But teach them ways to adapt to the world, I think, is a really good advice, Jessica. Thank you. Please don't pay for hate speech, Jessica. What was hate speech? Was the more whitey thing? I'm confused. Sometimes I miss things. Is pineapple? No, watermelon is always better than pineapple. I'm kind of a low-key pineapple hater. I'm sorry about that. Yes, that's hate speech. Okay, Karina, I didn't know. That's awkward. That's really awkward. So now I'm very confused. And I would just like to apologize for my mistake for reading that out loud. Anyway, moving forward. Several years ago, I looked at the sky and I saw something that looked like a dragon just flying. Was that what I saw? Pickle Chip says could be aliens. I can't tell if that's like real or sarcasm. Like, that's the problem, okay? Like, that's like the real problem. No worries, it's not your fault. Someone sent that. Yeah, like, I can't believe, like what the hell? Like, what? Yeah, I don't know. It's just wild. Anyway, I prefer raspberries. Raspberries are pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. Honestly, I just want to leave people feeling and being more magical than when I found them. Yes, Carlin, that is my whole brand. But I guess that's the lesson. Not everyone thing wants to be, quote, imposed upon, unquote, but that's also not the point. You know what? Here's the thing. I think, you know, people who are, and I'm kind of like quoting my bestie Drew Aflo here when I say this, but I think that people who are so violently disrespectful with their religious beliefs in the space of others expressing a different religious or spiritual faith, they don't deserve your graciousness. Do you know what I mean? And like, I will be the first one to support standing up for your space to exist in whatever religious, spiritual, or faith-based context you would like to, so long as it doesn't implore on anyone else's right to do the same, you know? And it's really doesn't gotta be more complicated than that. I noticed that ASD people are often told that we need to change, and mostly for others, yes. And we are just not taught boundaries and where to draw the line, because then we fall into people pleasing. Yes, Dragon Blingy, that has been really the issue in mostly my personal intimate relationships, is that like I was raised by my family to be very much like people pleasing towards my partner, or like my husband, or like my boyfriend, or like husband to be, if you will, in a monogamous sense, right? And like if I didn't do that, then I wasn't a good partner. And then my partner, if I had mistreatment from my partner, that would basically justify that, right? Very just, there's a lot of layers to unpack with that, right? But like through pleasing myself instead of pleasing the ones outside of me over and over again, no matter how hard that was, helped me break that conditioning. And I had to kind of escape the same person in multiple relationships, and it was very scary to do that. But ultimately, the only thing that really broke that cycle was a value in my boundaries over being liked, right? Like, it might, I don't know if it's like an autistic thing, but I'm pretty sure it is, to have like just deep trauma from being misunderstood. And so sometimes when people get mad at me for why I choose to move the way that I do and think I'm rude or disrespectful, it makes me anxious to the sense where I feel like I have to like overcorrect and like make people believe that like, no, I am a good person. Like, this is just, I have to give them like context, right? To like why I moved the way that I moved. I'm like, this is why I did what I did. But like that usually just tends to piss people off more. And so what I've had to learn the hard way by fucking up sometimes relationships and losing relationships over just autism, just being autistic, was, oh, if I can't do something, I'm just gonna say, just be as polite as I can about that. Be like, no, I can't do this right now, but maybe I can do it later, you know? And if someone wants to be mad at me for that, like, I have to understand in my body that that is not my fault. So please, like, the way that I would self-regulate that now, and that I wish I was taught when I was a young child, was it's okay, is the tapping technique, saying it's okay for people to disagree with me. I am safe to be misunderstood. I am allowed to express my need for boundaries. Like, things like that really helped me, right? Yes, ASD people hate being misunderstood. So that's probably why it's been a really hard lesson for me to learn, and I still feel like a fish out of water when I literally do that, when I literally like enact my boundaries, because, you know, because like I feel like I get lit on fire when especially the people I love misunderstand that, right? I'm like, you're the people I love, you're supposed to understand me, fuck you. Like, you know what I mean? It sucks. But like I have to understand that like people are people, right? Like, and everybody's different, and everybody has a right to interpret reality the way that they see it. And like I had to learn that people's perception of me is none of my business, even the people I love. And that was the hardest thing. That was the hardest thing for me to swallow and understand. as somebody who is like chronically people pleasing, like chronically fawning when people like get frustrated with me, right? I digress. I replaced my iron cauldron with a brass one for the Fae. How do the Fae feel about metals like brass, copper, bronze? Copper. Brass. Bronze. Copper. Copper. I'm actually getting 3 thumbs up from all of them, if that makes sense. Because we are very logical people, left-brained, allistics are right-brained, and we have different communication styles, so we can have big egos and obsessed with being right. It's very, very true. I feel it deep. How about rose gold? Rosie says my favorite. Obviously. But gold is like a yes from all of them. So I do have another question. I know who my soul's father is, but I don't know my soul's mother, fairy. That I am not allowed to answer for you. That information is classified. Work with your own spirit team, or you can book a reading with me. Because, like, I'm not trying to give, like, personal information online for people to watch forever. That's just kind of seems disrespectful to everybody involved. So, yeah, message me on Instagram if you would like more in-depth answer, yeah. It depends on the fairy. I would say listen to your intuition, as whichever feels right usually is. I would say go with that as well, Karina, because that's really been my experience, right? Like, it's pretty much like get to know your guardians and get to know the spirits you're working with, because chances are they might literally contradict every single thing that's stereotypically a thing for the mythical creature they are. Do you know what I mean? Do the Fae realize how difficult it is to find a good quality copper cauldron for an altar? All the good quality ones are too big. All the small ones I can find have iron parts. Okay, well, my guardians are saying that's my responsibility to fix. Thanks, Nightmare. Actually, I don't know. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. But if you see copper cauldrons in 2025, I guess you'll know why. So, who knows? Why is it my responsibility to fix? I don't even know where to go to get copper. You know why I feel like I'm getting that? Ow! You know why I'm feeling like that? It's giving copper mines, source of injustice, need conscious hands in the creation of copper. Is that true? I don't really know much about copper mines, but that seems like it would check. That's what I'm getting from pickle chips. What do you guys think? So I understand the being misunderstood part. Yeah, same. Roots Council. Good morning, my fairy guides say that as long as your heart, soul, and intentions are pure, that is all you need. In the end, everything else are simply tools for your craft. Then yeah, Karina, I mean, that resonates with me too. What are your thoughts on reality shifting? Do it every day, all the time, multiple times, all at once. Hello, sorry I'm late, what's going on? We are channeling, we're in the middle of a channeling session with my 3 main dragon guardians, Pickle Chips, Rosie, and Monte. It's pretty exciting, we're actually having a lot of fun. I am back with another question. What do the dragons think of koi fish? Sacred potato. Can you clarify? Sacred squishy potato. They say hello, hi, welcome Luna, back to your daily dose of dragon feather. People should not be involved with toxic masculinity, puts a person in so many boundaries. I'm not sure I understood that, but I'm not tripping. I've checked on him every day for a week, but I don't want to disrespect his space for his existence. Oh, I can see his, actually, eyeball, his face, which is like a bunch of intertwined branches. I can see both eyes there open, but he's moved and only see one eye. It's like frozen. Robin, who are you talking about? So did you see me ask about the land where I live for ancient lost civilization in Newtown, Ohio? How can I honor this frequency energy being spirit tree person in the side Hill Creek bed? I would say meditate in the land with the intention of just like visualizing it the way that it was before it was touched by man. That's something that I do with land that I know that's been through a lot, if that makes sense. Which, if you ask me, it's probably everywhere on the planet. So, I call one of my cats a sacred squishy potato. Jessica, the Guardians are saying same idea. Same idea. That's crazy. Luna Rainbow, welcome. Welcome. All the small copper ones I find that I like have iron parts. I know the Fae probably wouldn't care, but I'm trying to avoid iron at all costs out of respect for the Fae. Iron outside the house for protection. If you have like items that are fully iron, bury them. It's fun. It's fun. I don't know if it ruins them. They're just saying it's fun. Would your dragon guardians be able to tell if I have autism? They're not qualified. They said they can't go to human school. They cannot be qualified. But they said that it's very possible you have a fairy brain if you watch my videos. But I can't diagnose you. I'm not an armchair doctor. You know, prescription, can't do that. You know what I mean? But yeah. Good morning. I have fever sickness today, but I feel great. I always feel euphoric when sick. Interesting. Well, hi. Welcome, Shahida. Welcome back to your daily dose of Dragon Feather. We're just chilling. But that's just, that's cool. How do I know which voice inside me is a real soul or my imagination? Guardians, can you help me answer this? They're all telling me basically there really is no definitive proof that you'll know the difference. What makes a witch powerful, or what makes a medium powerful, what makes a channel powerful connecting with spirits, is in the way they place their faith in themselves to interpret reality that makes them magical, that makes them able to see beyond the beyond that would normally be what most people see. You have to cultivate you first. That is your first and greatest task when it comes to working with any spirit, really. Some people are born with, you know, experiences of being open to spiritual, you know, energy and experiences and other entities like that. And some actually have, you know, like guardian spirits very close to them and that they're very familiar with. Imaginary friends, you know, like they call Azuras. But like, you have to understand one thing and one thing alone. It's all about how you hear yourself, how you see yourself, how you know, hold yourself, how you know, just create yourself. It's all about you, truly. That's where it starts, because the only way you're able to connect with spirits in the first place, or understand dragons, or work with the Fae, or work with your ancestors, or work with even gods, goddesses, even just like, you know, Jesus Christ. It doesn't matter who you're working with. That is a spiritual experience. You are working with a spiritual energy. And that is not for everybody. It's not. And sometimes working with certain spirits is actually very traumatizing for people. It really is. And the difference is knowing who you are and knowing what your reality looks like and having faith in you. And that's going to determine how you interact with your reality outside. As within, so without. That's up to you and how you want to explore. That's why you have no one definition of a witch, or no one definition of a medium, or no one definition of a channel. We all look so different because we all put our faith and place it differently, and that is what creates our expression as who we are. You know what I mean? Like, no one else is going to be able to show up as Azura Dragonfeather because no one places faith the way that Azura does, because that's who she is. Just like you watching, you can't, you know, no one else is going to be able to connect with spirits in the way you do, because the way you place your faith is your journey to share, your journey to explore, your path to walk alone, and no one can take that away from you. And you don't need Azura's help to get there. You don't. You don't. You don't. Half of you would actually be better than Azura if you just had faith in yourself. Burn. Burn. But I hope that helps. I hope that helps. Luna, the answer is giving same. You have to have faith in you to interpret that reality, right? Is there a reason I can't control my dreams or even make myself get to have the types of dreams I want to, like meeting my guardians or seeing my future life? Sorry, I have so many questions. If you were here later in the stream, we actually answered this. It's because sometimes those dreams are because your guardians come to you with them, right? It's not always of your creation. It's like a shared dreamscape, and sometimes the dreams that you're looking to have are ones that you don't necessarily have until like your guardians are ready to like reach you with them. Does that make sense? At least most of the dragon dreams that I've had with my guardians, that's kind of like what that makes sense. Yeah, that was a major burn. Yeah, it's a pickle burn. I love that. I think I found some really special stones, a fossil that looks like an ancient eye. The fossils are like a crazy reptile. It's amazing looking. Also another piece, it's like for a snake path on each side. Robin, that's really amazing. Like, using things that you find, you know, in your reality. Like, see, some people might think that this is stupid to use in my practice because it's like a fictional dragon and it's like made of plastic, but like this is the best depiction of a frost dragon I've ever seen, like in like physical form. So like I'm gonna use it in my craft and put it on my altar, right? Like I also have like a 3D printed like crystal holder. Like it's a dragon, it's 3D printed, made out of like plastic, but like I'm gonna still put my crystals in it. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's where I'm coming from, my friends. You can practice lucid dreaming. The best way that I do it is by taking naps like in the middle of the day between like 1 and 3 p.m. and then writing down anything I remember when I wake up and doing my best to be consistent with that if I can. But it can be hard. It can be very hard. If you can imagine it, it's out there somewhere. Power of the human hat. Yes. Also quantum physics. The realm of thought is the quantum realm, right? So the second you think of it, you're tapping into quantum reality, the quantum realm, right? How would you want future you to look back on you as? How do we understand how we want to be, not who we'll definitely be? Different version of ourselves in the future, but we will enjoy it by then. Interesting question, Carlin Barker, because the way that my guardians tell me to work with it is that I'm supposed to live my life as if my past, present, and future are right now, because that's reality. And it's really hard for my human brain to understand this. But the way that I do it is like moving that way helps me even interpret certain things as like messages from my future self, you know, like, or, you know, messages from my past self, you know, like it really just depends on how you look at reality, right? Like you said, if you can imagine it, power of the human hat, you know. I astral travel without any control. I have no idea how to actually lucid dream. I have only lightly tried. Yeah, Violet Maze, like, see, everybody's like kind of different, you know, right? Like, Pickle Chip says that like there's certain like practices that I've really pursued. For example, trying to perceive auras is one that I've just like really always wanted to like learn, and I kind of can after practicing, but it's really something that I'm just like like it's like good job, you know what I mean, like we're like practicing Draconic witchcraft is like, oh look, a strawberry, you know what I mean. If you know, you know. But all I'm trying to say is like, if everybody could practice everything perfectly, like there would be no variety in the witches we have, if that makes sense. I'm not Azura, but my main fairy guardian, Nahila, oh my gosh, says that they are something else, Nightmare. What did Nightmare say? Is the Kraken a type of fairy or dragon or something else? My guardians are saying something else. Pickle Chip says Mama Squid. Monte says Mama Squishy Squid. That was good. That was good. Mama Squishy Squid. Mama Squishy Squid. It says something else, a type of Gorgon type creature. Interesting. So the Kraken is literally just a squid. That's it. Just a really big squid. They're all saying Mama Squishy Squid. Nalia. Oh, thank you, Karina. Luna, does the music you listen to match how you're feeling daily? Interesting question, my friends. It says, yeah, Kraken totally gives off mother vibes. Yeah. Pickle Chips just wants to remind everybody that squids are very sacred and we shouldn't be eating them. That goes for octopi as well. That's interesting. That's really interesting. That's really funny because guess what I've been watching with my boyfriend recently? We've been like rewatching the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, and like they have like a lot of Cthulhu, a lot of Kraken mythology in it, so it's just a little interesting. But yeah, interesting stuff. Hi, I'd like to ask if I'm on the right path. Pickle Chips is saying we can't be the hack. Certain things like about your personal like craft and practice are like part of your discoveries, because that's how you find the magic in your life, right? Like, and if I were to just reveal that as like a hack, if you will, or like a cheat code, then like it would kind of take that magic away, and I don't want to do that, and they don't want to do that to you, you know what I mean? So I would say keep working on it, keep working on your practice, keep working on your, you know, your trust and your intuition with yourself, and that's how you know you get there. You know, it's a life practice, right? The reason why I asked is because I got a Kraken pendant that I'm in love with, but I don't want to wear anything if it doesn't have spiritual significance. Interesting, Nightmare Fuel Studios. Well, I mean, my guardians are telling me like squids are very sacred and special and spiritual in their own ways, but like they're not dragons. It's the same thing, and like there can be overlap, right? Like you can have like a dragon squid. But squids are their own thing, and dragons are their own thing. I'm sorry, the thought of a dragon squid really disturbed my brain for a second. I did not see your last question. I do not know. It says, I have trouble fully being connected with my human mind and body. I feel like two different beings trying to work together by not connecting. Why? Pickle Chip says most human beings are struggling with this, and the best way to remedy that is to literally lose your mind and return to your senses. Like, put your phone down. Like, stop thinking so much. Like, you actually, most humans are, like, thinking too much about how to live. They're, like, actually, like, thinking their life away. Please, like, paint. Or, like, please, like, clean your room. Or, like, please, like, you know, climb a tree if you're able to. Or, like, please go on a walk. Or please, like, you know, bask in the sun. Or go swimming. Or, like, you know, go on a jog. Or, like, anything to, like, put your phone down and, like, come back to reality. Like, maybe pick up, like, you know, like try baking something. Or, like, you know, I don't know, like, anything, you know what I mean? Humans really need to relax, because I struggle with this too, right? I have this sense of, like, I feel like I'm never just right? But that's also, like, a symptom of being, like, overstimulated and burnt out in a world that's not made for you, right? So, like, it's about regulating your nervous system more than anything, and realizing that at the end of the day, sometimes it's just a deficiency in your nutrition, okay? The problem is that you might never know the real answer of why you feel the way you're feeling, or how you know this, or how you know that. What matters is, are you having fun? Are you having fun? Are you having fun? Because if not, that kind of defeats the purpose, right? So take some water. Yes, my friends. Yes. Also, if I nap during the day, I always have a night terror, so I do not do that, even if I'm exhausted. A Violet Maze, work on, like, I would just, like, start studying, like, how to, like, regulate your nervous system. And, like, just kind of, like, trying different, like, things that might help with that, because that's a symptom of trauma usually. I'm not a doctor, though. Like I said, this video is for entertainment purposes only, because I have to say this for some reason. Wouldn't Cthulhu be a dragon squid? Pickle Chips is saying more squid god. God of squid. I actually really don't know anything about Cthulhu. The Kraken is a pet of Poseidon. Read over Poseidon and mythology and go from there with it on the Kraken. That is cool and all. Inferno 999. Welcome back to your daily dose of Dragon Feather. But as we've been studying on this channel with our book breakdown of the first sex, we're realizing that mythology is really more of an echo of history, right? Very, very ancient history in the human psyche, the memory of a distant past. It's an interesting take, right? But while we're making while we're making videos, reading this book, in between the readings that we're doing, we're kind of doing our best to apply, you know, those perspectives to kind of get some a new fresh look on just like our belief systems and stuff. And if that is the case, then Poseidon, you know, having the Kraken as a pet could have been a human that was able to tame the Kraken in the ancient world, but we won't ever really know. We're just here to chittily chattle about it because it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. Squid God, ooh, Isinator. I don't know, man. Sometimes my guardians give me fake information, for me to figure it out myself, or for me to embarrass myself, for me to be reminded in a spectacular, disappointing fashion. So I hope that entertains everybody, because it's disappointing sometimes. I digress. If you want to really read up on Cthulhu, read up on the god Oceanus. Rothian Fairmoon, thank you. I definitely will tap into that. That sounds fascinating. I thought Cthulhu was just a fictional character, though. Or was H.P. Lovecraft accidentally channeling spirits when he wrote his stories? I won't know. I will never know. Oh yeah, he was. Haha. No, I don't know. Yeah, no, I don't know. There's, Pickle Chips wants me to say there are sacred animals alive on the planet that are descendants from god races that we would see in mythology, right? This might be... Pickle Chips tells me some spicy things, okay? The only guardian that talks the most is Pickle Chips, okay? Pickle Chips gives me the most. Pickle Chips kind of does too much, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. But I'm getting the sacred animals are the what's it called? The squid, like the octopus squid, because we've been talking about that one. The dolphin, like dolphin cetacean, I should say, not cetacean. Cetaceans are, no, I think it is cetacean. Yeah. Like dolphins, whales, that kind of like category, right? Turtles are very sacred. And then I'm getting cats, very sacred. And that would be like all of them, right? So like the lions, that would be the house cats, that would be the snow leopards, the lynx, all of it, right? The giraffes, very sacred. Rhinos, very sacred. I'm just getting birds in general, very sacred. Yeah, Carlin eagles, but like birds in general. And then I'm getting a butterfly, mantis, and dragonfly, very sacred. So there's like some like, that's not all of them. I'm sure you guys could probably guess the rest, but like that's something I just want to let you know. I don't know, I always felt called to share that for some reason. I have lots of trauma and I'm not ashamed of talking about it, so don't feel bad. I've been doing healing work for 1.5 years and feel like I'm barely halfway through the process. Yeah, Violet Maze, we'll take it from somebody who it took, I want to say like almost a solid 5 to 7 years of conscious like healing work and daily study for me to be able to get here now where I'm at. What are your dragon's honest opinion about the veil? Myself, I want it gone so I can finally spread my wings, as it were. My guardians are telling me the way to pierce the veil is through the eye of your heart, okay? People think the veil is outside of them, beyond the beyond the beyond the beyond. But the only way through the veil is inside, right? As within, so without, right? As above, so below. Like that's the way to get, like the deeper you go inside is the higher you get here, right? Like how do you explain in the English language? Because it sucks is what they say. I don't know, man. Sometimes I really just wonder. It's a really interesting life being a Zora dragon feather, talking to dragons, but I highly recommend trying. You really should try to talk to dragons sometimes. Like they really add so much color to my life. I'm not gonna lie to you. Cheers. I have to like opposite. I have to visit my daughter in the hospital tomorrow, so I have to get to bed. Oh, well, I hope you have a very, very good night. Why is Sacred Feminine so powerful? They're both the hunters and nurturers in nature. Carlin Barker, all of my guardians are coming through as feminine energy. Just to remind you that hunters and gatherers were never a thing. That it was the woman, always. It was God who created woman, woman created man, and it might be really, really, really hard for you to understand that in this modern world. But just because women created man, every single man was created in the womb of a woman. You started as a woman. You cannot deny. Your science knows it. You cannot deny it any longer. So suck it up. Oh my god. And you don't have to be offended, because it's like not a like you suck kind of thing. It's just like a it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, you're alive. Like, that's amazing. Like, you get to be alive now. And like, the only way you were ever going to be alive is if your mother gave birth to you. You know, be it C-section or otherwise, like that's how you ended up here. And now that you're here, it's your decision how to live the way you want. And that gift only lasts for so long. And do you really want to waste your time debating on who is better or who is worse? No, it doesn't really sound like a good idea. The best idea is to live your life the way you want to live your life, and to explore magic the way you want to explore magic, and to express yourself the way you want to express yourself, because at the end of the day, that's why you were created, that's why you were born, and if the universe didn't want you to be, you simply would not be. Pickle Chip says that she will be coming through as a woman now for life, just to reinforce that, because that's awkward. If you haven't seen my last live, God is Tiamat the Dragon, I really recommend. I'm not saying that I believe God is Tiamat the Dragon. I just read the book yesterday, okay? Sarah, have you heard about Vedic astrology? Yes. I am actually, I think, a Capricorn in Vedic astrology. There's many things I have to ask. Many things. Dragon Blingy, many things. It's giving Capricornius. Sarah's giving Capricornius. All I'm gonna say is that, like, when it comes to that kind of thing, like, it's not like it's not to say that like female supremacy, right? Like, the true harmony of humanity is unity, right, within all of us, right? Because we are more like a hive mind than you guys are willing to admit. If you want to be honest, we actually probably know everybody through like 5 or 7 people. That's just kind of the phenomenon of humanity, okay? And it's so sacred to be alive as a human being that the best thing we can do is respect each other as a default, right? And allow people to have the space of their truth, because, you know, people believing that the universe is feminine, inherently feminine, and that God is a female god, and that for some reason I think my guardians don't want me working with male gods, is because that it's just not reality. At least that's always the way that I've got it. And sometimes the way that my guardians come through in their expressions is masculine or feminine, or like, you know, like I guess you could say gender neutral, depending on how I'm going to receive them. And Pickle Chips knows that Pickle Chips is going to be better received in a masculine way, so by me too, honestly, with just some of the stuff that like we do on a personal level. But like, Pickle Chips is a she, you can call Pickle Chips her as well. Like, it, like, gender is just different, right? You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? It's not like, what's it called? You know, it's just a matter of like respecting the fact that like you don't have life without the mother. It's really that simple. You know what I mean? Like, and sometimes the mother relationship that you have is complicated. I'm speaking from personal experience, but like I think we can both agree that like the day I was born was the day I took my first breath, and was the day that my birth certificate says I began my life, and that all started with my mother. Like, that's based in reality. Like reality. Like not a book, not what dragons say, like not what the government says. Reality. Reality, right? Like my mom gave birth to me. That's all. That's where I'm coming from. We're all one because we all come from the mother. That's my whole point, dimensional legend. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk and proving my point. I've heard Vedic represents the soul at a higher vibration and the Western represents our earthbound egos. Violet Maze. I love that explanation. That's really fun. There's a cyclical process of veil density and the general ethereal deal we are all floating in, more or less. Veil density thickens and thins out around proximity to Halloween. Pickle Chips is saying that's the veil for the spirits to come to you. But if you wish to pierce the veil, you can always do that. And your ability to do that will be better during those times, because that's when the spirits are more easily able to come to you, right? So that's why Halloween or Hallows Eve or Samhain is known as a time to actually work with mythical creatures in the Fae. You leave offerings out for them, and some would even argue that the jack-o'-lanterns you leave outside of your house on Samhain or Halloween is to keep the spirits or mischievous fairies out of your space. You know what I mean? It's a protection. You know, it's a protection practice, right? So you'd be surprised. Everything is pretty much connected. I'm Piscean. I came out feet first, pretty crazy. I had to get all turned around. Well, that's amazing, Albert Cordova. Pop the bubble veil. Yeah, that's so funny. But yeah, like my guardians, like, just want me to like press upon everybody that like the reality of science is that like we all start as like feminine expression in the womb, and only if like the sperm carries the Y chromosome from the father will the human female child develop testosterone, and then we'll have the transformation of the female like genitals into the male genitals. That is how it works, okay? Like, I didn't make it up. I didn't make it up. Okay. Good talk. If we become gods, we would become so strong from anxiety, too strong from anxiety, depression, or any toxic worse problems. No. We become gods when we master our strong emotions and our reality. When we are able to, we become creators, created in the image of the creator, literally, when we marry spirit with mind with body. And all of that means is the brain of your mind, the brain of your heart, and the brain of your guts. The brain of heaven, the brain of earth, the brain of hell, right? When you're able to align them, become in alignment, right? That's when you are able to become what? Have godlike consciousness through what? Your Kundalini awakening. It's all very much the same thing, right? The Kundalini awakening is just the rising of the energy of consciousness. You feel me? You feel me? My guardians are telling me I should do a video on just that. Can you ask Pickle Chips about the octopus? I've always felt very drawn to them in all aquatic life and water energy. They're basically saying spiders of the sea. in the sense that like the way that like spiders are like web weavers, and since like that way, like octopi are very much the same way, and they move through a vibrational sense throughout their whole reality. They're very intelligent, very, very, very intelligent, and are unlike anything else on the planet, which is why they're so sacred. You know what I mean? Human realm is a tough place without the physical body. Yeah, you know, last time I checked, Alfred, you right? I thought that crabs were the spiders of the sea. That's interesting. That's interesting. They said yes, they can be like that too. More like scorpions of the sea. Pickle Chips is laughing at me. Monte is like this. So I'm gonna say lobsters are scorpions of the sea. Crabs might be spiders of the sea. And octopus just might be their own fucking amazing, immaculate thing. Yes. Now I'm getting okay, so here's the thing, you guys. When you work with dragons, you have to understand that some of them are very, like, very serious, very matter of fact. Some of them are very, like, troll, very trickster, very mischievous. Some of them are just very loving. Some of them are just very distant, despondent, aloof. Like, you just have to get to know your guardians, right? You know what I mean? You just have to get to know your guardians. And like, my guardian Pickle Chips likes to troll me more than any of my other guardians, but I think that checks out. I mean, just ask him. Fucking Pickle Chips is the name. Like, it's in the come on. Before we go, because it is getting pretty late and I would like to eat dinner and watch a movie before I go to bed. So I'm just gonna do like one last question for my guardians from each of them. I'm gonna ask each of my guardians to basically give like me something, like a message from each one of them from you guys. But if you guys have any questions before I go, leave them. All right. It says, do dragon colors mean anything? My main dragon guardian is gray with yellow wings with a touch of blue, all pastel too, and my other guardian is silver. He looks like he's made out of metal. My guardians are saying your dragons appear to you in the way that makes the most sense to you. Dragons really only look the way they do because of humans. Can you elaborate on that? My guardians are like, think of cats. Cats meow differently to humans than they meow to themselves. Maybe we gotta make a stream called Dragons Are Cats and Cats Are Dragons, because that's funny. Azura, thank you for coming out tonight. I've had a really good time watching and chatting it up with everyone. Yay! Thank you so much for coming to your daily dose of Dragon Feather. It's been awesome. But yeah, basically just like, dragon colors are really for you to discuss with your dragons, you know what I mean? Like, you can share the colors of your dragons if like that's something that you're able to share, like if that's like something that's cool. Like, there's dragons that I work with that say I'm not allowed to share them on the channel, like that they don't want me to channel them the way that I do like Pickle Chips or Monte or Rosie. Like, my practice with all of my dragon guardians is very different. My practice with all of my dragon guides is very different, right? Like, it really just depends, and like that's just my practice for me too. Like, some dragon guardians have told me like they're just for me, and that's okay. Like, but there's some dragons that work with me exclusively to help the hatchlings, and like Pickle Chips is like the first dragon that really nailed that home to me. Like, Pickle Chips says like, I've earned my right to work with Pickle Chips in a conscious way, especially in a way that helps the hatchlings, because I've done the internal work to rewire my brain to handle it, right? Like, I can handle channeling pickle chips in a faithful way without letting the heat from, you know, I guess the comment section or my real life to make my mental health crack, right? Like, where before there were certain guardians that simply wouldn't work with me on a conscious level because my mental health couldn't handle it, and I simply would have cracked under pressure, right? But this is why I wanted to ask my guardians, you know, before we go. I'm gonna ask them in the order of Monte, then Rosie, then Pickle Chips before we head out here. But I think it's just very important to remember that anyone can work with dragons, okay? So before we go, here I just want to ask Monte. Monte, what messages do you have for the hatchling for the rest of the year of the dragon? It's about time you guys stop spending so much time in bed, glued to your phones, or on your couches, glued to your TVs, or addicted to your work on your computers and laptops. You guys are so far disconnected from nature, you barely even understand the spirits that you're working with. This is why there's been such an over-reliance on creators like Azura. In order for you to have a spiritual experience, you don't need Azura to have a spiritual experience. You are the spiritual experience in human form. Be alive. It's time. This year is your year to become fully who you are. Embody yourself. And the only way you do that is by working with you and taking time with you. It's about creating a relationship with you, and you can't create a relationship with you outside of yourself. You can't create a relationship with you asking Azura, Dragon Feather, or Pickle Chips, or me, or Rosie questions. That's not how that works. This is all fun and games, right? Talking to us is all fun and games, and channeling is all fun and games, live or whatever. But at the end of the day, we do this to inspire you, to connect with you, your spirit team, your spirit guardians, your guides. They are the ones that'll bring the most magic to you. I promise you. Thank you, Monte. All right, you guys ready for Rosie's goodbye message? Okay. Ready? All right, Rosie. What messages do you have for the hatchlings for the year of the dragon? My dear darling hatchlings, I am here to remind you that love is all you need. But love for yourself. You see, the way that you chase love in a partner or in family or even in your guardians, even in your dragons, that never, ever will ever mean a thing if you don't pour one drop of your own love into your heart and soul. That's how you embody yourself, hatchlings, is by pouring your own love into yourself in whatever way that looks like for you. For some of you, that looks like hitting the gym. For others, that looks like cleaning your room. But for most of you, that looks like telling yourself how beautiful you are, looking in the mirror, telling yourself how worthy you are, looking in the mirror, but being consistent with how you care for yourself. It's time to stop telling yourself it's hard. It's hard being stuck. It's hard being inauthentic. The ugliest you feel is being out of alignment with who you really are. And I promise you that the ones who love you the most and the ones that you love the most will resonate with you the deepest, the most authentically when you are in love with you the most authentically. Why do you love people so deeply? It's because you find reasons to love them so deeply. Your heart is huge, hatchlings. Don't give it away. Thank Thank you, Rosie. I'm crying. I needed to hear that, LOL. Have a wonderful night, everyone. Yes, Haley Marie, thank you so much. Oh, I don't know if I'm ready for pickle chips. I think pickle chips message is gonna annihilate me. Who knows? Maybe it'll inspire us. All right, pickle chips. Please let us hatchlings know what messages you have for us for the year of the dragon. Pickle Chip says, when you watch, if you're watching Azura, you already have dragons watching with you. That's just the way this channel works. Channel your dragons the way that you turn on the channel of Azura Dragonfeather. The only difference is instead of going to your phone and clicking the search bar or clicking the new upload or clicking the live video, you go to your altar and you meditate, or you go outside into nature and you go on a walk, or you go outside to the beach and you dance in the rain. Whatever it looks like to you, how does it look like to feel in touch with your spirit? To embody your spirit is to feel alive. There's a reason why spirit is at the top of the pentacle. There is a reason why spirit is at the bottom of the pentacle. Because it is the earth, the air, the fire, the water in your hands, in your body, in your reality that you have fun with, that you play together and mix to magical things. However reality looks for you, that is what makes your spirit come to life. How do you walk the forest? It's different from how Azura walks the forest. Neither is better than the other. They are just different walks through the forest. And the more that you look into spirit, the more that you try and find the spiritual existence, even in the most monotonous of places like working at the drive-thru, there is magic and spirituality and just more than meets the eye in every experience you could have. You have to be present though. And if you are so focused on what's coming next, or what you don't have, or people who might seem to be separate from you, or experiences that seem impossible for you, or past experiences that seem to haunt you, that will become your reality if your focus is fixed upon it. But you must focus on who you are now. How do you channel yourself in the moment? You're always shifting realities. You're always shifting timelines. But it's up to you in the situations that you are in to perceive them differently, to move differently, to act differently, to define it instead of letting it define you. Now I'm going to ask you again, who are you? Thank you, Pickle Chips. And with that, I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful night. Thank you guys so much for spending some of your day with me today, because if you weren't here and you didn't tune in, I would just be talking to my dragons by myself, and that would be kind of awkward. So thank you so much for all of your amazing questions. I wouldn't have been able to get the answers that I got from my guardians today without your brilliant, wonderful questions. So thank you so much. But until next time, stay geeky, cheeky, and freaky, little hatchlings. Woo! Blessed be, and bye!